Hello everyone, how good of you to join. Welcome back to Anno 1800. Now we can really leave the Arctic behind us for now, the endless cold. Occasionally I will have a look at it, but other than that we can focus again on our glorious city that we have there, on Leary, and then of course on Africa. That would be our next horizon with the scholars that we need. I also would like to have a look at all these smaller details that make a city truly great, and one of them would be these empty yards that we have there, right? And we do have a couple of new ornaments that I would like to use in these areas here. One of these things is the splash fountain over here. So this one here where people can take a walk around, right? It actually has its own pavement right next to it, and then perhaps also some trees left and right. So this one is kind of like an extended pedestrian path here where people can walk around, and that we have here. By the way, this one here can actually extend over there with another road going in here into this whole center there. Looking fantastic, I think, at least. Let's continue here with some more of these trees that are just along this little road there. And there we have a nice cozy looking alley, really, where people can stroll around right in the center of the city. Let's just have a look at that. Oh, sorry, pal. I was actually in your face almost. And people can really sit here and just enjoy on a very warm summer day, I guess. Some splashing water there and children can play around. Just very nice in the middle of the whole mess that we have there. Now, I was also in the process of continuing with my riverlands that we have over there. So that is with upgrading more to workers over here, for example, so that we have a balanced workforce. And then I can upgrade more of these workers here to artisans once more, and also a couple more engineers perhaps. Though I don't want to have engineers or anything like that here, right? That's probably going to be artisans and workers only. In some places you can really just have them. This guy here actually has everything. There you go. Perfect. That is good, and on that side here, it's actually already developed. I think we could, yeah, already upgrade them to artisans if we want to. Let's just do this with a couple of them here. They're in this perfect situation there. All right, there's another, yep, these attacks are happening everywhere. It's just good that we really have the harbor defenses everywhere on these islands. So that is Leary once more. That is constantly under attack, it seems. We also have constantly, well, an attack from the inside as well, in the form of these plagues. Now for that, I do have, of course, my hospital ready. We do have a couple of options. Let's just go with the basic one that we can squeeze in here, hopefully somewhere. Actually, yeah, it's fine if we have it out there. These hospitals have a huge range, and they can even reach those houses outside of their direct vicinity, even though, of course, it's taking them quite some time to get over there. We have, by the way, lots of farmers, so I'm going ahead here with a few more upgrades that we can have in the city itself to push our workforce. It's more important than the farmers, really. There you go. Now let's just switch back to Tristão real quick. There is an airship in Tristão, so that's probably the first time that these jolly good people there see an airship in their direct city. Oh, I still have now the green ground there, but it's fine, right? And it's just looking epic overall when you have something like that. They don't really seem to care a lot. Everyone's going about his business. I certainly do enjoy this airship floating around here in Tristão itself, and Tristão actually has some very valuable resources with it. 100 tons of gold and 100 tons of windows to finally make it possible for us to build the colonial cathedral. That is a modded cathedral building that I would like to have in my city, and yeah, more or less in the city center there as well. So what I will do is I will completely get rid of these guys there. I'm sorry, pals. Also, there are fountains. There you go, making room for something new. We have like 5,000 obrero workforce almost, right? So we don't really feel that, and I can always just continue with the upgrades over here and here, as we're really capped on resources there to make up for it, right? And here perhaps. And I would like to have a smaller landmark area. So there's the colonial cathedral now in all its glory. And we could have it like that, for example. We have a double road here that I'm going to get rid of, or we keep it.
You are so generous.
I guess we're going to keep it, and I can just have a nice area here, right? We might have two double roads on either side, and perhaps a little plaza right in front of it, which would lead then to something like that. There you go. A really beautiful big church building here that is providing the church service as well that these guys here want. And then we're just going to have a plaza right in front of it with some ornaments, and of course it could go all around it. And here we have another double road, so this looks symmetrical there somehow. And here in the back we could also have another road then with a more plaza building. So let's just have a look what we have for options. I think something like that would really fit in here nicely. A city fountain right in front of the church that we can have. And let's actually go with the paving, the palace paving that we have around the fountain, and also with the cathedral, as it fits quite nicely into that. And then, well, we are in the tropics, so some palm trees left and right might make a good impression that we have alongside it. And here, actually, there is something else. Here around the cathedral, we could have something else. We already have a fence there with some paving, so it might make sense to just have some flowers around it. That could work. That we have it like here, all around it. That is fine. And here in the back, we could actually have a smaller garden or something like that for the cathedral itself. Yeah, something like that, with some trees for the shadows and then some grass where people can actually also sit just behind the cathedral that we have there. And in front we have that beautiful fountain with the church itself. Very nice looking, really. I do like that one. It's just opposite of our big post office, which kind of like could also act as a town center, yeah, if we look at it. I'm also really glad that since we fixed the sand and glass problem, that the light bulbs and the glasses themselves are really steeply going up there. So we have some buffer room for additional upgrades then in the future. What we still have now as well is the gold, right? So I was actually getting the gold for the cathedral. We have the cathedral, so I no longer need those 4 goldsmiths here any longer. Let's just get rid of them. And instead, we're going to have, well, goldsmiths as well, but for the jewelry and without the gold, right? Because we have the items. We also have 28 influence, so just enough for a trade union that we can squeeze into this area. And for that, I will probably, this one here we can keep. I will probably get rid of this lumberjack hut here to have this whole area for an additional smaller industrial zone. This is all non-pollution industry, right? So you don't feel it, you don't see it really. There is some trees if you're going into the first person mode or something like that. You don't really see these industry buildings there. And that is the goal. That is just how I like it, because it's non-intrusive overall. Now let's just get ahead. Here we want to have that. There's two products that we want to create here. The first one is the jewelry, right? So this one with the pearls and with the gold, and the other one would be the pocket watches. So let's go ahead and have the first industries here. We're going to need quite a lot of them long-term wise, I think. So I'm really going to add a couple of them here, and also this area we could probably make this work. Now I just need my trade union. Yeah, we have it to make sure that we really can reach all of them. Here we can squeeze it in most likely. Let's actually have it like that. Righto. And then just the street going over here into that area. We definitely will need a warehouse here though soon as well. Somewhere over there, I guess, for these guys here. And then we still have a lot more room there as well. But I think, wait a second, we have 4, 8, 10 of them now. That leads to 20 that we could have as a base production. 20, we do need 8 only, right? So for now, we should be golden on that. Yeah, totally fine. This is really fine because we're not even boosting them at this point, right? I'm just going with the base production, really. And then we have the pocket watches as the next one. That's also, oh, that's 45 seconds that it has, and it requires electricity. Now, there are some items that provide electricity. I also have the tracks close by, so we could have a train going up here for the electricity. First really cool item that I found is the chronometrist. This one is for the clockmakers. So instead of gold, it processes brass. So this is pretty good because gold ore we only need for the jewelry then, and we don't have that much gold ore. And I can only save it then for one production chain. And brass we have plenty of, with plenty of zinc and copper, so we can always produce more if we want to. So this is a really good item that I would like to use. It's not the one that provides electricity. There would be one, but only for the schnapps and brewery. Okay, so while the items are on the way, we have to decide also, do we want to use a gas power plant or an oil power plant? For that, I would like to check real quick my oil consumption. And as we can see, it is actually a bit down going, but I don't think that this is a huge trend, as there's also another 400 tons coming in just now. So I think we're still fine on the oil. Though I also think with another power plant, we might be stretching this one a bit too thin. On the other hand, we are still completely capping on gas, so it's still going up with +1. So another power station for gas should be fine and should be actually making this one equal at most. So I would like to go ahead here and use a gas station, also because it's a bit further away from my main track systems. And for that, let's go ahead, and now we can also use, for the second time actually in Crown Falls, the gas-fired power plant. This one also needs, well, it does need a warehouse close by. We do have a couple of them here, and I will probably squeeze it in over here though, right? Because I don't want to waste the space here for anything else. So we have a lot of jewelries here now. The other thing that I would still need is the pocket watches, and for that they require electricity, right? These guys here, they're huge, by the way, so this is going to be a bit tricky there, of course, with the space. But I think we should still be fine. So that's those guys here. That's already a nice boost. Plus with electricity, it still gets boosted as well. And I think here we could still squeeze in those guys. That's going to be very close, but it should be working. Let's have this one getting finished here as well. And then another road like that. And that's looking good. The trade union, we need 2 more influence. So perhaps I can upgrade some engineers. There they are. Perfect. That's the 20 influence that we need. And yeah, with that I can finally build the next trade union here. And we're down to 0 influence once more. But at least I can use now some juicy items for that. The first one would be, of course, the jewelries. So instead of gold, they process gold ore. And then we have also, the power plant that I haven't used yet, really. That might be another very cool thing. Let's actually get ahead and build the gas power plant now. And let's build the first, let's make it 6 jewelries that we have, right? So the pearls and the gold ore is now being consumed. Of that we have plenty of in store, and we're just going to see how this one needs to work then additionally. Let's upgrade this warehouse there to a grand warehouse, and I might actually also squeeze us in another one here then. There we have the lumberjack hut. It's suffering a bit from the going down, but we are importing a lot of that anyway, so we should be really golden with logs long-term wise. So this is another production now that is ramping up that we will permanently then fix. That is the jewelry. I'm actually going to close this one for now. I just don't know, no, the engineers don't need it. So it's really just for investors, right? For their happiness sake. And for their normal demands, everything is ready. So the skyscraper upgrades are still possible for these guys. Alrighty, so that is huge that we finished here this now. There is also the clockmaker still that I need to do. For those guys, I will need another warehouse here, most likely. Let's build this one real quick. Let's upgrade it also by a couple of steps. And let's build us 4 of them for now. Right, that is huge. Is this one affected? Unfortunately, it's not affected, and I also don't think that I will be able to affect it. But it's fine. It's really just a boost overall that we're helping out here. Another side byproduct of the gas power plant here is that we're boosting now all these glassmakers here in this area, right? All of them have electricity now. The gas power plant has a huge range, as we can see. It goes all the way up here to these guys there. And this is really something that we will feel now with the glass coming in, right? So the sand, well, the sand consumption is going up as well. We have already the fishery here. They're working. And those sand mines here, can I boost them? I can boost them. Let's boost them by 50% here in addition, so we do get even more out of them. There is another one that I can still build. I would really like to get as many of them as possible. This is not working. I was hoping that there's still the possibility of actually squeezing something in there. Unfortunately, that's not possible. Doesn't matter really. We should still be having enough glass overall for that. And now another thing is that we have from this one, we have the sand there, right? And I didn't take the fish into account yet. We have the fisheries, but not the space for it. Now we have it. Right, so that's the fish getting over there. We don't need that much fish. It's going down at the moment, so 15 per minute we need. That's not so much, and I think that cargo ship will do just fine for it. On the other side of the city, my tanker has arrived. Electra, with all these beautiful items that we're going to need now. Let's get up there once more to my trade union, and here we now have, there it is, the clockmaker. Instead of gold, it processes brass, so this is for all the clockmakers here now, and in fact I will need to affect all of them, right? So these guys there, so we have the brass, so we really don't need any gold bars. And then we have Ferras, this guy here, productivity 50% once more. We already have this guy quite a few times, but he's just very useful. And that's another 50% boost that we have now here. This will certainly ramp up my brass consumption significantly, though we are capped on brass, and it's a bit hard for me right now to calculate it. So we're just going to wait a couple of seconds, and then we'll definitely needing to boost these brass smelters here, right? So for that, we do need some more resources. So reinforced concrete and windows, basically, that is something that we do need a couple more of them. So let's just get those items. Oh, not that much, really. So let's just get all of that over here to Larsen, where we will boost our brass production. We also have, of course, here the zinc and the copper input, and this is constantly capped, though, at a very low level. So we will probably also need a couple more of these storages that I can have just over here. Right, so that we boost also the storage capacity of Larsen. And we can also see the effect already. So pocket watches is deep blue, I would say. So 8 per minute surplus. And that is already unlocked, right? So pocket watches are already unlocked for all my people. Jewelry is still locked at the moment. So I would rather just wait for a bit of jewelry coming in. But it's increasing so quickly that we can actually open it up now for my investors. This is going to boost our balance there over 300k, I think. As it should. There it is. Perfect. Lots of money coming in there. And yeah. Investors and engineers are completely satisfied. They have every resource now available they want. Everything basically. We have completely finished the investor stage, of course. Now that is pre-tourists and pre-skyscrapers. But for now, this is a nice milestone that we should just enjoy in this city. Now over here in this district, I do have more work to do, and that is more artisans. We are looking rather good on workers, so we can upgrade a few more of them here. And I would definitely like to go ahead with that. That's looking perfect. And with the remaining ones, we can once again also get us a few more farmers to workers make up for it. There, Larsen is once again helping us out a lot in this case here to make it more beautiful. Also, the plague here is gone. The hospital did a nice job overall. I will still move the hospital into the center there. So let's move these people out and let's get the hospital to the inside here, just behind the church. The church is kind of like an extended hospital for us. If this one gets full, we can always use the church for it as well. Another level up, how very nice. Giving us a bit more influence again, and level 58 we have. Over 100k still, and that is just absolutely amazing to me. Now another small project that I want to finish is right up here at the very top of Crown Falls, where we have the fortress, right? So here where we have a really beautiful view over the whole city, and that is a big massive prison. We do have a couple of options for that, right? But we have especially this one here, the state prison facility. We also have then for the skyscrapers a skyscraper police station as well that I'm going to implement later, but I would really like to use that state prison here. This one in a very secluded area up here, right? So it's going to be hard to flee from this, as you would have to basically go through the whole town, and also you would have to take the hiking path there into the mountain wilderness. So rather well, hard for these guys. Also a fortress right next to it makes sense to me. Let's build this facility up here, right? So in a nice location there. At least those prisoners will have a beautiful view over the city and see what freedom means to them. So let's just have the entrance here that we want to have. And then probably also some... I mean, we already have a wall there, but I think it makes sense to have more walls, of course. For that, I will probably make a cut here, because we want to separate it, and we do have some gates for that available. So this one, but I think rather this one. Can I squeeze into like that? This might be workable. Yes, I think this is fine. Right, we would also have this option there, but I like this one more, I think. And then, of course, we have the wall going all around the prison facility. Like so. That we have a nice secluded area. There it's the entrance to the prison facility then. Of course, we should have a concrete floor paving all around it. Let's actually build this one, because I want to see how it looks. Yeah, in a very... Look at that. Prisoners area, prisoners fashion. This is looking perfect, really. Let's build the walls. Let's build the prison facility and the gates. There you go. A nice prison area, really. We could, of course, add some, well, I guess, some trees to it, if this is possible. I mean, it is possible, but do we want to? No, we want to keep the area clear, of course, because dangerous people do live here, and they will enter from this side here then. We might actually still have something here, though, as an entrance mark for those guys. Yes, a nice equestrian statue or something like that that shows them their way, right, when they enter this whole facility. And it's all rather grayish and stuff like that, how it should fit really. It also doesn't make sense to have trees right around the prison, right? It's hiding spots after all. And look at that, those poor fellows are actually going around here. Let's just have a look at this prison. Right beside our fortress over there. There you go, and we can just walk around here, right, where is also the prisoners going around. How very nice. This is exactly what I would like. Perfect. Really, really perfect. And Crown Falls now has its own prison up here. Alright, I think that's it for now. We will now prepare our African expedition for the scholars then. Stay tuned.